Smitty, have you seen anything unusual at all?
I found something unusual. This rotting, rusting, decomposing piece of steel sits on the keel underneath the floor and basically keeps the entire boat together.
This ship is fucked.
Those of you who are holding my beer, thanks. Actually, I don't drink beer. I drink coffee. I don't drink beer. Sometimes I fake it like I'm drinking beer, you know, when people are all hanging out my hair. No matter what I do, it's still, ugh. Okay, but anyway, I digress. Bob is heading over around this point. We're leaving Fishing Bay. We're going around Stingray Point and then arriving at Stingray Point Boatworks, where the boat is being hauled out, and then the mast is going to be taken off so that we can begin the demolition of that mangy subcompression post. Okay, so stay tuned. Enjoy the ride. Before we begin, let's take a look at the chart for our trip around Stingray Point. This whole trip was about staying between the markers and staying in enough depth. We even had to go all the way around the light out there at that point because it's really shallow. And then coming into Broad Creek, guess what? It's really shallow. And we make one final turn into this tiny little channel that is, did I mention shallow? Yeah, it's shallow. So here's the zoom out version of this quick trip around Stingray Point. And then I started thinking, what's the point of Stingray Point? I mean, why is it named Stingray Point? So you know me, I had to do some research.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. As you've just crossed over into
the research zone.
In the heart of Virginia, where the river meets the bay, there's a tale as old as time that's worth a minute of your day. Picture Captain John Smith, a bold explorer of yore, sailing the Chesapeake under clear skies, the wind his only roar. One fateful day, while fishing in the shallow waters, Smith felt a sharp pain, like the sting of 100 fiery embers. A stingray had struck, its barbed tail delivering venom with a swift and potent thrust. Smith, in agony, was hauled back to the ship. He was sure his end was nigh, his life about to slip. But his crew, quick on their feet, performed a crude surgery, extracting the barb and saving Smith from his watery cemetery. And thus, the place was named Stingray Point, a testament to a day when man met beast and lived to tell the tale. This is but one story of the river realm life, where history is as rich as the water is rife. Remember this tale when you visit Stingray Point. Feel the thrill of adventure, the echoes of the past, and the pulse of the river that never stops flowing.
Well, that was interesting. Now that we've looked at our charts, we know the history of Stingray Point, it's time to get on Bob and go for a ride.
2 hours later.
Well, remember that last little turn in the chart? This is it. This is that tiny little channel coming into Stingray Point Boatworks. And there's the travel lift. We're gonna back Bob in and take him out. Now that Bob is out of the water, there's not much time to fix, repair, paint, and splash. Because of this, Bob has appointed Buddy, the cattle dog, to do his shopping. We're going to her. Do you want to go in? Do you want to go in and make a trade? Yeah? Alright. Can you be a good boy? Wait. But that face. You fetch it up. You ready to go? Don't bark. Quiet. Fetch it up. Don't jump all the way up. Not all the way. Just put your feet. That's it. Don't jump all. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
Go get Daddy. Bujo. Thank you. Is that your food? That one's empty. You're gonna take it up on the boat? You think you can do that? Let me see you do it. Go on, go up on the boat. Oh. You are with your waiting patiently. Now that we have our tools and boat is out of the water, we have to get into boatyard mindset, which is eat, sleep, work. Thing is making hot dogs with the heat gun. Hey, I know I gave him shit about this, but I kid you not, heat gun hot dogs. It's actually really good. Y'all should try it. The next morning, a crane truck showed up with crew to take off Bob's mast. Step 1 is disconnect all of the rigging. So they sent a guy up in a bosun's chair to the top of the mast where he disconnected the triadic stay. Meanwhile, Richie was down below disconnecting all of the wires that go up the mast.
The big black one?
While they were doing all that, Lee was disconnecting turnbuckles from chain plates. And when everything was disconnected, the crane operator pulled a lever and pop! The mast came right off. They still had to be careful and make sure the wires didn't break. So Richie was down below pushing the wires
Are they coming through?
Through the cabin top and freeing it in the mast. And just like that, the wires were free, the mast was free, and it was time to tie it all up and send it down. This is Rick and Lee from Stingray Point Boatworks. They are tying up the lines and rigging and stays, and then we'll lower the mast down onto the ground. At this point, we set up sawhorses in a line because the mast will be slowly lowered down onto those sawhorses. And here it comes. Bob's mast is slowly coming down where it will lay beside Bob on the sawhorses. And there it is. The mast is down, which means we can pull out that subcompression post and start repairing Bob. The boatyard is full of long days and short nights. We were exhausted, but to his credit, Richie went forward and started taking apart the floor. Essentially, Richie taped off the section of floor that he knew he was going to cut out. The teak had already collapsed around the compression post, so it was pretty easy to get that out. And so then he just sawed around where the tape was and then kind of banged and made a lot of noise until he got in there.
Well, as soon as I got this rotten wood out, look what happened to the bottom of the compression post. The little thing just fell apart. Ooh-wee. Good Lord, have mercy. That's a rough one. Every bit of it can turn to straight powder.
Here he's vacuuming up all of the rusted steel and fiberglass and of course sawdust from cutting everything out. This is the very bottom of the step since the other part fell off. This is just fiberglass in the bottom, so he's going to try to pull it out. Well, mission accomplished. This is the bottom of the step because the other part fell off and broke. This holds up the entire cabin. It basically holds the boat together in a lot of ways.
A few moments later.
So here it is, the subcompression post, and as you can see, it was really, really bad.
This is not a dream.
This is the compression post, and that wood that's on top of it actually is about 6 inches of layered plywood. This is it right here. We were trying to figure out why, and the only thought we could think of was vibration absorption. But when we sent the dimensions for the replacement post, we added that 6 or 7 inches to the length of the new post. Basically, this is going to drop down inside of here like this. And this is how the new post will fit down inside the keel, and that extra 6 inches brought the step up to right about 1 inch below the floor. So that means the subflooring will be 1 inch thick. We chose 1 inch thick Gabriel G10 as the subflooring material. One of the reasons was it is very tough and it's waterproof. We were a little concerned about shock absorption because I don't think it has much. But Richie said he was going to use some teak and walnut in the floor above it. So maybe that will distribute any vibration or concussion. Here he's bolting the Gabriel G10 onto the plate at the floor. So this is actually upside down. And once it sits down on the keel, that'll be sticking up. While Richie worked on the floor, I decided to give Bob a makeover.
Hey, come on, everybody, we're doing a makeover.
A couple of months ago, Dad sent me this picture and said, hey, you should give Bob a tuxedo.
I'm your huckleberry. That's just my game.
Although we've spent a lot of time on Bob's bottom, fiberglassing and sanding and bottom paint, we haven't spent a lot of time on the waterline. So it was really crunchy and mangy, and I decided to use this opportunity to sand it all the way down to the gel coat. I've been sanding all day, and this is me. laying on the rocks. I picked out this red paint for the cummerbund and the bow tie. So I'm going to give it a stir and do some painting. But before I do that, I was looking up little clips of cummerbunds only to learn that I've been saying the word all wrong. Check this out.
The word itself, cummerbund, derives from Persian language, and it's actually a compound of two nouns. Kamer, which means waist, and band or band, which means something that's tied. So a sash, a tie, or a belt. Cummerbund would actually mean something that's tied in the waist.
I'm curious how many people actually knew that. Leave me a note in the comments saying yes I knew or no I didn't. What tuxedo would be complete without some gold cufflinks? Kind of feel like Bob Ross right now.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
Somewhere there's a little bee that keeps like doing flybys, and then like it sits here and just stares at me.
What exactly is your relationship to that woman?
We're friends.
Good friends?
Yes.
The bee was actually really cute, and he didn't sting me. Anyway, once the cufflinks were done, it was time for Bob to get a crisp white shirt. Something I've been wanting to do since we bought him. So it rained for a few days and I had to take a break from painting. I decided to go look at an old boat that was in the back of the boatyard that, according to one of the employees, was there when the boatyard was sold. It's abandoned, and the boat name is Serena. I hate seeing abandoned vessels. It just hurts my heart. I wanted to learn more about this boat, so I took a picture of the hull number that's located on the right-hand side of the transom. So I typed in the vessel name, and I'm doing this on repeat because it took more time than I wanted it to take doing a screen record. So I discovered that this one here, the 1982 658774, and the reason I know this is the same boat is because when you zoom in, there you see that hull number, TYA 363260182. So the question we need to do is find out who has the number, what manufacturer or importer has the number TYA. I'm gonna guess it's some kind of an island trader or something, or marine trading. Unfortunately, I could not find any other information about the boat. Everything else I clicked on didn't work. But here she is, and she's available at Stingray Point Boatyard if anybody wants to come and rescue her. I did a Google search for the TYA prefix, right? And those first three digits and letters are called the Manufacturer's Identification Code, or MIC. And they are assigned by the U.S. Coast Guard. The MIC, the MIC, for Tyana is a TYA. Let me just tell y'all, Tyana is a very good boat. And here's the information about the business. Although an older boat, I would think, was imported. But look at this. These are just some of the Tyana Hall ID numbers. No, I wasn't actually going to put this on the video until I scrolled down here. And lo and behold, there she is, TYA 363260182. So Serena is a 1982 Tyana, which I bet was imported from Thailand. Well, that concludes this week's episode. See you next time.